Just got back from a Cabo trip. It was me, my family members, and about 6 zips. Everywhere my name on the list, and I tip them very well so they don't trip. Whizzle man on the beach getting lit, and I show up clean if I'ma be at the event. I'm comfortable as long as there's some weed lit. More than a man, I'm a genius. They compliment saying they never seen this. We always gon' butt heads like Beavis. You always start something up and leave it. I'm getting stoned to celebrate my achievements. I'm always gon' be ahead, we ain't even. It's Taylor gang, you with us, you ain't leaving. These niggas be mad as fuck, I'm the reason. I'm rolling the finest kush with no season. I love to smoke, more than you know. Hey, I'ma let it show. I love to smoke, hey. I love to smoke, more than you know. Hey, I'ma let it show. I love to smoke, hey. Some people say that it's bad for you, but I really don't give a fuck. I'ma keep rolling up first thing in the morning, smoking J's till I get stuck. And you probably say you sober, so you got a clear mind. Well, I got a clear mind too. I know niggas who don't smoke and swear they living good. They don't even work out much as I do. I know bitches who talk shit on weed, but I'll let a nigga lean and do all other dumb shit. I'm a nigga who do what he want and say what he like, but hey, that's what it comes with. Who would've thought smoking weed in the basement, now I'm making 500 million. Instead of hating on game, trying to get someone to put you on. I love to smoke. That's hard. More than you know. Hey, I'ma let it show. I love to smoke. Hey, I love to smoke. More than you know. Hey, I'ma let it show. I love to smoke. Hey,
Kane is in the building.
Yep, it's a late one. It really is, bro. I can't believe how stupid Phil is. You had the easiest layup. Your op was a fat moron who struggles to do the simplest things in life. Who literally lives on a cot in mommy's basement, bro. It's just, like, how do you sleep at night knowing that you lost an argument to a guy who had his mommy walk in on him when he was simping over an e-thought over the computer because she thought he was talking to her? How do you lose to a cop to begin with? And not even like a good cop. Just like a retarded cop. Like a mall cop that... She did, dude. She did. And the girl even called her an idiot. He did get body slammed by Broside Phil too. That's funny. That's like getting punched in the face by Mr. Rogers. Yep. Bro, it's weird. It's weird, you know, doing this stream today because I know Dickers isn't a good guy. But, bro, he booty slapped Phil. It was pretty fucking funny, I'm not gonna lie. These dabs keep getting me back, bro. They're like, ah, ha, ha, cough again, fool. All right. Bro, I'm telling you, it's weird as shit. And then we have Phil, right? Doing a stream with Ethan, Ralph, and Mersh. Bro, what? He thinks PPP is the bad guy. Just wait until you find out. He did, back, and it's uncalled for. But anyway, let's get into it. I think so.
Snort, snort, snort. Kogan. Drip. Snort, snort. I got the drip. Go.
All right, everyone, so you can hear me. Rich, hello, how are you?
I'm lovely, Philip. How are you?
I'm
You're
good.
looking stunning in that sweater today. Looking nice.
Thank you, sir. So I'm adjusting right now. I'm going to ask ask the chat. How does it sound?
You always sound.
No, go
I'm
ahead.
enjoying your.
Bro, you sound like exceedingly nasally, and you sound like a child who has a busted nose, right? Who has like arrested testicles, so their voice is like super high, like Stan in fucking American Dad when he just gets blasted straight in the nards. And it causes his voice to go up like 3 octaves. That's Phil, but in like a perpetual basis. He always sounds like he's going through puberty. Bro, your audio is butt.
You're succulent. I'm enjoying your succulents behind you. They're very succulent.
Of course. Well, you built them too, so you know how succulent they are.
Wait, Nugs is here?
they're
Oh
very
my
solid.
god. What up, Nugs?
So, guys,
Thank you for the inspiration.
how is the audio levels, everybody? Are we good? Because every time I do it on Discord, everyone says that I'm too loud, but I tried to adjust it today.
Oh, see, I didn't
so
know
it
that,
sounds good.
Nugs.
Are we good, everybody?
Bro, look at how
They say we're good.
he dyed that
All right,
fucking
well,
hair, dude.
Let's begin. So,
You cannot convince me he did not dye that fucking hair. He dyed the hair, dude. He trimmed the hairline back, made sure it lined up, and then he dyed the fucking hair, dude. He had to have dyed the hair. What up, Nugs? How are you, man?
Wow. First of all, an epic moment.
An
I mean, this has
epic
been
moment.
a long time coming, in the making. People have wanted to see us have a conversation for a very, very long time. And thank you for coming on the show.
It's because his hair is so uneven. You can't line up
what interesting,
like
what
a right
coincidence.
triangle,
What are the
bro.
odds?
Or a right angle, or right
the
triangle.
coincidence
I'm
of this
fucking
timing,
stupid.
just, you know, I'm sure it's all just circumstantial, right?
Oh, of course. There's absolutely no reason why it would be right now, this week, or anything. No, it just came together that way by complete, you know, luck, dumb luck, right? But you're here. That's respectable. I thank you for your time, and I want to let you know,
The
'cause I told the audience this
Thundercats logo.
before, I know you weren't here. There is absolutely no interruptions. There's no pop-ups on this stream. I'm not going to
Bro,
be reading shout-outs or anything. for
Lionel
anyone.
was
This
my
stupid camera's
dude.
screwing with me right now. But I'm not going to be doing anything to be distracted. It's you and me. I want to respect you because you're giving me your time. You know, it's not about contributions today. I mean, I will shout them out after we're done when you're gone. You know, it has nothing to do with you. I'm not going to be reading out insults or anything like that. That's not what this is, okay?
I don't care. I don't care if you did anyway, but that's fine.
I know you
That's
don't
fine,
care,
though.
but it's just the thing. I mean, you're going to give me your time, dude. I got to give you respect for doing that. You know, you could be doing something better with your time, I'm sure. And I appreciate you coming
It is
on.
the Vegeta hairline, yeah,
now,
but
before we
Vegeta
begin,
pulls it off because
I
at
wanna
least
clear
he
the
can
air
go
here.
Super Saiyan.
You have absolutely...
And bro, it's canonically confirmed that Vegeta claps Bulma's cheeks in the shower. Vegeta's goated until the end of fucking time, bro. Vegeta is he's him. He's the main character, bro.
no preconceived notions of what this appearance is, right? You don't know. We haven't talked about if it's going to be a topic, if it's going to be anything, right? We haven't planned anything, correct?
No, not once. And if you did, I would call you out on it. You didn't.
Yeah.
There you go.
Say a fucking word to me about anything.
Because people have been speculating for the last couple of days, well, since yesterday, and I guess you had let it drop on your show that you were going to appear a couple days ago before we had really confirmed it, and then I confirmed it yesterday, and everyone's freaking out. This is an evil plot. They've got all this stuff going on, and, you know, this is not legit. But no, it's not the case. We have nothing planned, all right? Previously, like Rich, you know, and I have not spoken about this beforehand. This is completely... a legit appearance here. And I guess, Rich, before I begin saying anything, just before we start...
You're going to get shirtless? Are you going to get shirtless?
Absolutely not. I'm just curious.
Oh, come on.
Oh,
Do you have anything you would like...
it's clearly Rich trying to, like, take a step back and lighten the mood because Phil is just up his own ass.
to just say up front?
Bro, I had so many emotions watching the end of Daima. I'm not even gonna spoil it. Bro, when I tell you, I had a tear just like go down the side of my cheek when he came up around the rocks, bro. It was like, this is what took Toriyama from us. I don't know if it was even trade, but boy, it's so good. It's so good. It is really good.
As a starter, before we get into anything, is there anything you want to get off your chest? Is there anything you'd like to say?
I got plenty of questions, but this is your show, so I will let you begin.
Oh,
I
okay.
have plenty.
He's got plenty of questions, but it's my show. All right, that's fair
Yeah.
enough. That's a good way to start. Okay.
People are speculating that it's
So-
going to launch a multiverse for
Funny that you bring up,
Dragon Ball,
you know,
and
the
Super's
timing
going to
of
be
everything,
one,
correct?
and then
because
Z
obviously
is going to
I tried to
continue.
get you on this show,
But I
back
don't
in the
believe
fall,
that.
and it fell apart. You did cancel last minute. Then you wanted to come back on, and at that point, I wasn't interested. But we're not here to argue about the
I guess
specifics of what
GT,
happened
yeah.
there. But I have tried to have you on, and
I wonder how much of Daima is setting up the next chapter of Super. I think that's where they're going, but I think they're planning the end of Super. And I think the end of Super is going to be a lot like the end of GT. And it's going to have to do with, like, decaying Dragon Balls, right? And it's going to have to do with, like, the consequences of them overusing the Dragon Balls constantly, right?
It didn't work.
Because if you remember, Shenron was starting to get annoyed with Bulma, right, in Super, because she kept summoning him to do petty things for her, right? So they're already laying the groundwork, and with what happens in Daima, I mean, it's logical to think that they're setting up the end of Super, and the end of Super is going to have to do with the story beats that we got in GT. That's just my headcanon. That's what that's what the prevailing narrative is. Yeah. Vegeta hasn't yet. He went Super Saiyan 3 though. Goku did. And boy, when I tell you, like, the inner child within myself, like, it came out, and off in the distance there was Linkin Park just playing in the background, bro, like, setting the mood. Like, it's early 2000s, right? And it's Goku on Namek fighting Frieza for the first time, and there goes Krillin into the sky, right, being blown up for the first time. That's what it felt like. It's like how you felt when you saw Goku versus Jiren, right? And you saw Goku fall into the Genki Dama, right? And then come back, and you see the gods just rise to their feet, because this is Ultra Instinct Goku. This is deserving of respect, bro. I'm telling you, at the end of Daima, it's the same fucking thing. Goku put his big fucking dick on the table, and he said, okay, I see you, but let's do this. And he beat the fucking brakes off this dude. I don't want to go into it, but oh my fucking god. Oh my god. It's classic Dragon Ball, and it perfectly melds the formula of Dragon Ball with the formula of Dragon Ball Z, right? The intense fights, the jovial storytelling, the good characterization, all of it is there. It is peak Dragon Ball. I can't speak its praises enough. If you are even remotely a fan, just like a casual fan, a passing fan, watch it. Yes, and there's waifus, bro. I'm telling you, watch it. It's worth it. It's great. Okay.
Work out for whatever reason. So now, this week, I've got you on. All right? And a lot of people are like, this is great. It's the first face-to-face of Rich versus Phil, and they're going to either have it out, or maybe this is a plot. They're going to be like buddies now.
I really hope that's not the case, Nugs.
And now Phil's probably looking for ally.
I really hope it's just a case of Goku being incredibly stupid and forgetting, right? Because that's also a possibility. I think it's, what, 10, 15, maybe 20 episodes? I'm not entirely sure off the top of my head.
Right? And he's looking for buddies to team up with.
It's between 10 and 20 episodes,
right? That's
I
what
believe.
Everyone's saying. What do you think about that?
Well, I hope to God that you knew from the beginning that was going to happen. I don't think you did, though, because you...
He did forget to tell Vegeta about Super Saiyan 3.
Were essentially in there. You did simp for them for a while, Phil.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I found funny.
Look at him try to control that hairline, bro.
I've just said for years. You make it like I'm going to stalk you and dry hump your front door in the middle of the night. But when PPP said those things at the time, now you're different because the fallout.
And I mean, maybe he wouldn't have just forgot, but meeting Beerus and obtaining Super Saiyan God might have just, like, overwhelmed Goku, you know? Because he is so, like, I don't want to say stupid, because he's not stupid, but he's primitive in the things that he pays attention to. If it doesn't have to do with fighting, Goku doesn't want to pay attention to it, right? So what if he has so much of that he just happens to forget? Everyone did see him go SS4, so I don't know. I honestly don't know. Maybe just like at a later date, because it didn't end at the beginning of Super. So maybe they can retcon it away where Shenron just makes everybody forget or something. I don't know. You think? I think the new Broly was amazing. I don't like the way they did his voice actor. I can't remember his fucking name. But the new Broly is really awesome. The when I went back to collecting SH Figuarts Dragon Ball, Vic Mignogna, that's who it is. He was also Edward Elric. That's who it is, yeah. For some reason, I couldn't place the name. And I was thinking of Kevin Conroy for some fucking reason, and I was like, he's never ever done an anime. But he was done dirty. Yeah. That whole thing with Monica Rial and all of that was pretty fucking, that was greasy. That was greasy shit. That was some greasy shit. They lied about that, man. And since he had a shitty lawyer, he lost his case. But I don't know. I don't know. It was bad. He is a very nice guy, but maybe I shouldn't speak on people I don't know. But I don't know. It's fucked. I know that much. But anyway, the new Broly is really fucking awesome. King Bradley, that would have been cool, but I wouldn't change a single thing about Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Full Metal Alchemist, the original, I didn't like it, and I never really liked how they just became robots. I never liked that. The Brotherhood that stuck to the anime, that is goated. Bro, let me tell you, when Mustang comes out of the hallway and you just see Envy on the floor, and they just talk, they just start talking, right? And then they start talking about Hughes. Was it Major Hughes? Oh, I can't remember. It's time to watch it again. I can't remember, but they murder the guy in the phone booth, right? And then Envy just starts egging on Mustang, and then Mustang out of nowhere just starts throwing his fucking fire, and you hear the screams and the torture, and they pan over to Hawkeye's face, and you just see the torture, and then the absolving pain just washes over her. She starts crying because she's getting the justice that they all wanted. Goated. Fucking goated. And then when they get swallowed by gluttony and they have to work together, and oh, bro, let me tell you, I can go on about this anime. It is my favorite. Exactly, in the phone booth. I can remember the ceremony so vividly, and you see fucking Bradley start, you know, his whole thing, and then you just see Mustang crying, bro, and then bro, you go and you get to the point where the dad fuses the daughter with the dog. Oh my god. And then you bring in the whole Ishvalan war predicated on a lie by the government. Bro, fucking goated. Goated.
You know, he was calling your wife fat.
I could go on about Full Metal Alchemist.
Back then,
I love it.
With them, it was just razzing. What's the difference between when I said something and when PPP said something?
This is actually a good point. Why is it always different if they're giving you money, Phil? If they're giving you money, then everything is on the table for them. But if they're giving you nothing, then nothing is on the table for them. Your entire life is monetarily incentivized.
Just as bad, if sometimes not
Bro,
worse.
I've been watching fucking Solo Leveling, and I know that isn't an isekai anime, but I mean it kind of is. It kind of is. The dude wakes up and he's able to use all these super abilities that are granted to him through a fucking portal or some shit that just happens to fucking connect to some kind of Matrix multiverse that gives them infinite powers. It's an isekai anime without the person dying at the beginning. I mean, technically they do die at the beginning, right? But they just get reborn back into their own world, right? So, I mean, I don't know. Solo Leveling to me is one, even though it isn't.
Why?
Can y'all tell where my passions truly lie? I mean, I like detracting, but holy shit. I know so much about this stupid shit. It's great.
Was there a difference?
Well, there's two things.
Since
Number one,
read is no, I haven't.
If you have some kind of an arrangement with someone, if you're working business-wise with someone, okay, and you know that there's a mutual benefit to being associated and making content.
Oh, I've heard of that actually.
Inches, right?
That's
been you'll let them get a little bit of a ride.
That sounded interesting when I read about it.
Or a little bit of whatever it is on your behalf, because quite frankly, you're also getting a boost on their behalf by being associated.
A Transformers anime,
all right? But
bro, anime is gonna take over because Western media is kind of shot. Reincarnated as a slime. I've seen that one, but I've never watched that one. But I feel anime now more than ever is probably going to take over most of American media. And that's why you see these bills like in Texas popping up, because they're afraid of the competition. Now, I agree with the sentiment behind it, but it's so broad and vague that anything could honestly be considered what they're trying to ban. Even Dragon Ball. So I think maybe there should be more refinement to something like what they're doing in Texas. But I don't see the overall good that comes from it could be damaging. If that makes sense. What the fuck is this behind there? Wait, what?
it's like everything. There's a limit to that, and
there's a limit to how much you can tell me my wife's a fat bitch.
Himself to keep pushing those boundaries as far as he possibly could, thinking that he was big shit, basically, really, and he could get away with whatever.
Yeah, but that was at the 11th hour, though, Phil. I mean,
but my issue with Overlord, is that a lot of it feels the same. And I dropped it after season 2 and I had forgotten about it. And then I went back for season 3 and 4. I believe it's on 4 now. And I can't remember any part of it because all of it just seemed the same to me. So now I have to make the choice of going back and watching it from the beginning or just giving it up entirely. So I don't know. I might just go back and watch Overlord from the beginning.
There was actually a video of where, like,
it's fun.
Like, you tiptoed into confronting him about what he said about your wife, and you gave him a pass. Also, too, There's a video that
read this one, guys. For real, not even joking. Rich is a homosexual obsessed with Phil. That's fucking true.
You were, and this happened multiple times. It wasn't just in this video, where you would be in their kick chat in like the wee hours of the morning.
This is true.
Text messaging. And
Phil, why were you up at like 5 and 6 in the morning after drinking all night with your wife? You say you go to bed around 2. So you're up at 4, like 4 to 6, and then you wake up at 11, and then you just start your stream. Bro, I don't understand. How do you live life? Do you just think drinking is sleeping now?
text messaging
genuine
them in your chat,
question.
like a teenage girl. You were gifting subs. You would go back and forth. You always say that your time, like that was what were you doing
what's
then?
up,
You say your
Reaper.
time is valuable. You say you're very busy, but then you were sitting there in their chat, essentially just simping. Actually, which is funny. We'll talk more about simping later.
You're
but that was very
simping.
strange to me.
Sure. Well,
I haven't seen
guess-
Dr. Stone.
I guess we've had a good cold open, right? I guess we'll get into it now, right? We'll actually get into like the
Bunny Girl
the format
Senpai.
and what this
I
is actually
haven't
going to be.
even heard of that.
So, Rich, I have to be honest with you. All right, I'm going to be very honest with you right now.
Okay.
Okay, I do have a plan for this appearance.
Oh, God. Here we go with the fucking cringe, bro. Oh, my God. We're not doing the Level 1 podcast with Rich and DSP. No. We're doing the Level 666 podcast straight out of hell.
And it's nothing whatsoever
I'm
what you
so
think it is.
edgy. I'm going to
Okay?
say that when I'm
But I
on
want you to calm
stream.
down.
My mom's going
I
to
want
think
you to
I'm
calm down.
super
There's
cool.
no guests coming on or anything. It's just you and me. I promise you that. Okay? No special,
Okay,
no
that's fine.
shocking twists. No, oh my God, gotcha
Even
moments.
if there was a guest, that would be fine.
Okay.
Good drink.
Rich, do you recognize this?
Oh, my God.
Let me look on.
He's not looking. Oh, you don't see me?
Those are your poker chips, Phil. Yeah.
Correct. This is the briefcase that was used as a prop during the co-op react that I did with Kino Casino back in the summer when we watched your documentary from June the King. And basically, it was used as a way to humiliate you over the course of that event, where every time that there was something embarrassing that happened, we would take some chips out, right? And at the end, we were at the very end, you had one chip left. And I said, this is your chip. I'm going to hold on to it. And I had it on my screen back here. And everything, you know, was around this chip in the casino. And you even called it out in your content. And you said, Phil, you fool. They're not your friends, but you have their memes in your content and all of that. I'm well aware of all that stuff that you said, okay?
Which was true from the beginning. Everyone saw that coming from a mile away. You were a content mill for them,
So, okay,
as you've seen.
fair enough. Now, I bring this up for a reason.
Bro,
all right?
I can't believe
And we're
this
going to explain
shit.
it in just a moment. But I have one other question for you before I actually show you the briefcase, okay? And the question is this.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the king snake? The animal?
Nope.
You're not.
Bro, is that
The king
why?
snake
Why did he have
is a
that
creature.
picture of Ashton
A
and
snake.
Andy?
That lures
They were like
other
butt
snakes
naked in
into
their
its den.
underwear, bro.
Dangerous snakes. Snakes that are known to already be predators. Rattlesnakes and others. The king snake uses this trick in order to make those creatures feel safe. And then the king snake surprises those
Oh,
creatures
in
from
a hot
behind
tub.
and swallows
But why was it laminated?
whole. The king
You're
snake.
are you
And
swallowing,
and
Phil?
why was it?
Hold on. The
Why
king
was it
snake
taped?
eats other predators whole after laying a trap. Okay?
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the briefcase. This
Oh Lord.
is Andy and Ashton's briefcase. Because, ladies and gentlemen, today on this podcast,
What the fuck?
this is not the Level 1 podcast featuring RTU at all.
It's
Ladies
not.
and gentlemen, this is
What is it, Phil?
the Level 666 podcast, straight out of fucking hell. Because today, live on the show, it is
You didn't
time
have an
to explain to
animation.
you
You didn't
how over
have
the
a
last 8
transition.
months
You had nothing for that?
and the last couple
Cringe.
of years, all of my planning has finally come to fruition.
It's pure cringe,
I
dude.
robbed Kino Casino.
Nah, what you should have said is you guys wanted to fuck with me. You wanted to step to the king. Do you know what I did? Do you know what I did? I rolled into there. I rolled up to a judge. I bitch slapped that judge a few times and I said, Judge, I'm not paying this money. You are going to grant my bankruptcy. And they're like, oh, yes, King Phil. I'm going to grant your bankruptcy. And my bankruptcy was granted. I defrauded the government. You think I can't get to you? I got to the government. And you think you're safe? But you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. You didn't even pull out the old Liam Neesons, bro. You didn't even pull out the, I have a special set of skills, bro. You didn't even pull out the Taken bullshit. You didn't even do anything that's funny at all. You said, it's a level 666 podcast. Straight out of hell. Oh, yeah, fucking straight out of a pig pen. Looking like fucking Mr. Burns with a toupee on. What the fuck is wrong with you, hook nose? You fucking Bell's palsy ass fucking sideways having, oh God, oh my God, he's broken in half. Oh God, get the medic out here, ass looking motherfucker, Jim Ross wannabe, fucking barbecue looking motherfucker. Get out of here, Phil. Sitting there with your fucking wax candle face, grandma sweater looking midlife ass motherfucker. You horrible ass motherfucker. Oh, fuck, I lost it there
kidding.
at the end. Ah!
I'm not fucking
I can't handle
kidding.
him, bro.
Everything that you have seen happen, I swear to God, has been part of my plan all
It's
along.
all been a part of my plan. You see, Rich, I'm really a evil genius. Mastermind. Yeah, the dude's like the physical embodiment of Dr. Evil. When he came back from being frozen and half his brain was gone.
Because all of you think I'm so fucking stupid.
You
all
are.
thought that this was some,
You are. You're the dumbest fucking idiot I have ever seen in my life. You want people to believe that you altruistically decided to defend Rich's honor against Kino Casino by hatching some kind of Batman Justice League level contingency plans to fight back for Rich's honor, and you decided to go with the biggest dog in the fucking yard, right? You decided to go after Kino Casino, and for what? Because you thought you could destroy them. Bro, they're gonna fuck your ass for fun. We already know that PPP likes the cuck chair, and Andy knows the motion of the ocean, bro. He's out here teaching these motherfuckers for $25K a pop how to fuck hookers and do coke in Las Vegas. They are selling a product. What do you give? Nothing.
he got fooled. He had the wool pulled over his eye. I
like Vinny be the Dr.
100%
Evil.
had this plan since day one. And I am going... you don't believe me?
No.
No,
I don't
this is
believe you.
clearly
I've been watching
bullshit.
You now for over a decade. You were full in on this hook line, and so you called Andy your gaming soulmate.
He did. He did. This is so
Rich?
embarrassing.
I got the receipt.
Phil, I got the receipts. You have rich receipts. Bro, the type of receipts you have are the type of receipts that Rich had after he got his ass blasted by King Sly and went and spurged out on his stream, scrambling to find receipts. You had nothing. You had nothing.
Seats.
Okay, I'll do a French
And we're
whisper.
gonna look at them together right now on this show.
Okay.
Are you
I
ready?
would like to see these. Yes, Philip.
This is the briefcase.
He
of
did
Andy and
blast
Ashton,
Rich's booty
and
cheeks,
every
bro.
single time that we go through a topic and I expose them for who they really are, they're gonna leave.
Let's go back 1 second. Look at Rich, dude. He's out here looking like a bald Peter Griffin. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Block the screen. Block the screen. I'll try next time.
Go through a topic and I expose them for who they really are,
We're
they're
gonna
gonna
take
lose
a
a few
chip.
chips. And we're gonna see at the end how many chips these two
Hey,
have
I
left
can't
over.
do Peter. I can't. But have you seen that one fat
This feels
guy?
like retcon to me, Phil. But
Hold
sure,
on.
prove.
Hold on. Have you seen that one fat guy that gets paid to go to conventions that looks and sounds exactly like Peter Griffin? The dude even has circle glasses like him. It's nuts.
It to me.
Sure.
Let me see.
We're good. No worries, man. All right. So, let's get started, shall we? I'm changing my screen so if you don't, because Rich, you can't see any of this, obviously. I'm going to let you know what I'm actually doing here, and you might want to tune into the stream. It's going to be very hard for you to see, but I'm going to be reading
I'm
things
already
as
on.
well.
I'm already
What'd-
on the stream too.
Okay. Let me actually resize.
What'd you
here
ask,
so that you
Peter?
can actually be. Here we go. So here's the funny part, folks. All this week, there's been all these threats thrown around by Kino Casino saying, God forbid that any of these private messages be leaked that I had with Phil or we had with Phil, because these private messages would be so damning. They would hurt him so bad. And man, he is hiding from it.
Bro,
And we're
they have some serious shit on Phil. Just think about it. Phil said he would never be on screen with Rich ever after Rich canceled the last interview or like the last meeting that they were supposed to have, right? Phil said that time was past, that he had no interest in it. But look, as soon as he needs a shoulder to cry on, who does he run to? His biggest op. What a bitch. Like, not his biggest op, but like,
counting
come on.
down to when we leak the messages.
Oh, yeah, technically, dude.
I already put the messages online.
Uh,
And by the end of this show, I'm going to get
I already put the messages on.
online, and yeah, there's a whole bunch of messages in there about how you lied about your wife's cancer.
everyone the links, and you can all read them for yourselves in full.
I know, and that's the fucked up part. Okay, I think Rich is an idiot, right? I think he's a buffoon, a moron. I don't think Rich is a smart man. And for Rich to get one over on Phil, hell had to freeze over.
Not kidding.
Yeah, he said,
Because
I didn't
this-
say that. If you read what I said, I did not say that. I said the opposite.
Bro, no, you fucking said it. You said it.
This was my
This
plan
doesn't
all along.
sound like 4D chess. This sounds like damage control.
There's no damn.
I have no
control here.
idea
This
why
sounds
he
like,
thought-
This sounds like you're
why
just
he
trying
thought that,
to get
bro.
in front of what they're gonna say.
There's nothing to say. As you're going to see and what we're going to go through, everything that they think they have was already planned ahead of time.
Bullshit.
Every single thing that I told them was either a lie, a half-truth,
Okay there, Lex Luthor. Why don't you tell us what your plan was?
Truth or something to buy their confidence. So they would think that over time, they would have something on me. Because the truth is, Rich, I'm tired of being pushed around. I really am. All right? I'm going to be honest with you and the internet right now.
I'm tired of being pushed around. Do something about it then. Grow some fucking balls. Stop being a little bitch. And actually do something about it then. Do something about it then. I'm tired of being pushed around. You can only be pushed around when you let people push you around. Dummy.
Back in 2020.
Bro, how about you push those two fucking single twin beds together and fucking bump uglies? Go out there and fucking shear your sheep, bro.
When I did that Side Scrollers interview, and that interview went how it did, and I walked out of there thinking, you know, not a lot of people are going to like me, but at least...
Bro, how many people liked you before?
That interview's out there, and now I don't have to worry about this bullshit anymore. And then the next day...
Because those interviews make you seem disingenuous, Phil. Like, think about how simple...
Fair enough.
Think about how simple would have been to show... like, hey, just show me that down from, which we know is your account now, which we know you're still using, by the way. Down from the rafters is my WWE champion.
Yeah, bro. I don't understand why he's still going with this lie. I sold the account. It's not me. Yes, it is. It can't both be you and not be you. It's fucking you, dude. It's you. The account is only active when you're not streaming. That is for me, that is undeniable proof. That's too much of a coincidence that the account is only active during the times you are not on stream.
Account. My sweaty man addiction is there. And then you were like, you know, I got to protect my family, which made no sense, Phil. That made zero sense. How does showing a username in a game, that's the equivalent of like showing a gamer tag on
this
like
was a fair
Xbox
criticism.
Series X.
And something that Phil just did not answer. How does showing a username put your family in danger at all? Period. And he just rolls over it and doesn't listen, like at all.
And you said, and then you do when you had him on the show.
Oh, probably.
And he said, I forget the exact wording. I just thought of this now. I do have notes, by the way, but he was like, so you weren't telling the truth, and you said to him, it doesn't matter if I was telling the truth or not. It's still an answer.
But it isn't. If you ask me a question, do humans breathe air? And I say no, they breathe frogs. That's not an answer. That's me being a dick and not answering the question. It's like, what? Exactly. He's like, yep, I was an asshole. And he knows it.
Because I wasn't there to give them some kind of a...
You were there to give them an interview. You specifically went in search of people to interview you, you dumbass.
Insane, truthful expose on anything. The whole idea was, I give you an interview. Doesn't matter if you like it or not, but I'll give you an interview, and then we're supposed to actually continue.
So what you're admitting to is you lied to them in hopes that they would let you use their platform.
On with content. I was supposed to be a regular guest on their show, which was actually the original premise of being on it, is that I was going to be on there, add my 2 cents towards topics, and everything, get some exposure, maybe bring some viewers over to my channel.
Because we all know that life is ruled and Price is Right
because
rules,
after the interview, they decided to make endless amounts of content for weeks to months about me, crapping on me and making tons of money.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Rich here. So fucking what? So what? So what? You know how much content I've made on Rich? So what? Oh no, they're making a lot of content on me. Yeah. And you know what you do? You take the work of other people, complain about it, and use their work to subsidize your content. Without video games, what does DSP gaming have? Nothing. You can't keep a political show. You can't do content reactions. You can't do drama. You can't do wrestling shows. What do you have without video games? Segments? Oh boy. Everybody wants to watch a 5-hour fucking investor meeting. We didn't meet our goals yesterday, guys. We really need those goals. Like, how many fucking times? How many times a day do we have to hear about you not getting the money you want? Because you beg constantly. Constantly. Oh, I can't fucking stand this
And the problem is that negates the whole premise of the interview. An interview is supposed to be you just ask questions, you give answers, and then the audience...
That is not true at all. An interview isn't objective. It's subjective. Or it's not subjective, it's objective. Sorry, I always mix those two up. You either say definitively what happened and try and prove your case, or you're a fucking liar. Bro, if R. Kelly went into that interview and just started lying, it would have made him look worse. Unbelievable. You don't... When you get in an interview and you're supposed to be trying to prove your innocence or that you didn't do certain things, lying about them doesn't help you, you fucking moron. He kind of was, and it made him look really bad, and that's why he started flipping out, because nobody wanted to believe him. But that's my point. When you lie during an interview, the interviewer tends to push back, right? And they knew you were fucking lying, bro. They knew you were lying, and they called you on it multiple times. And you're like, no, I'm not lying. You even grabbed a fucking piece of paper with crayon on it. Like, this is my expenses. Okay there, Filbert. Why don't you go give the fucking drawing to your mommy so she can hang your bills on the fridge, you fucking moron?
Has to judge for themselves. Not right after the interview ends, the interviewers say, oh, well, that whole thing was bullshit.
That is not true at all. There are times where people come out preemptively because of who they're interviewing to say that I don't agree with this person, I don't like this person, and we shouldn't be platforming this person, but what they need to say needs to be heard, or what they did needs to be explained. Whatever the case is, I've seen it multiple times. Not everybody that interviews a person is their best goddamn friend. You moron. Fucking A.
Shit, we don't like that guy and he's an asshole. Don't believe him. You've completely disingenuously conducted that interview if that's how you behave yourself after, in my opinion.
You said it was fair, you moron.
Every radio show or talk show has after shows about the guests that they have on. And you weren't truthful, so their take on you was right. So I'm not really sure where you're coming from with that. Like,
fair enough, but that's not even what we're here for today, okay? And I get it. We already argued about
what
the side scrollers thing.
See, every single time he gets disproven, every single time Rich makes a point, bro, when you're having to change the subject on Rich because he's dunking on your ass, you know you're fucking up.
For ages, they're not even the topic of discussion here. But after the side scrollers thing, I had enough. I said, I've had enough of people on the internet always constantly using me as the butt of their joke, talking about me, using me to make money, and doing everything they possibly can in order to kind of, you know, mess with me and just get over on my behalf. And I realized at that point, the only way that I was going to be able to change things was to actually do something for myself, but there's no way that I could actively do it publicly.
Bro, Ralph's gonna say the N-word like in the first episode. I guarantee it. What the fuck does Ralph know about wrestling? Can Ralph even afford wrestling? Last I heard, he can barely afford the shack he lives in Mexico.
Because if I did it publicly, then everyone would just laugh. Because everyone thought I was a big meme and a big joke, right?
You are.
To some extent, people still do. I mean, I got a little bit more of a boost since, the last 8 months, but not much. But what no one realized is that I decided for myself to do something with initiative. And I said, I want to try to actually get over on one of these people who's one of these content creators who's constantly a misery broker. And I know you've heard me say that before. What I think a misery broker is someone who literally doesn't make content for themselves. All they do is they look at other people's misery, they report on it, they make fun of it, they laugh at it, and then they make a bunch of money. So a day when it's a bad day for someone else is...
And that's what he cares about. If they did this and they didn't make money, he wouldn't give a shit. If side scrollers, let's say, went on the next day, they had no super chats, they had no money at all, but they still did the Phil segment, like the debrief segment, Phil wouldn't have given a shit. Because he would at least be able to say, well, I made money and they didn't. But since he can't even say, well, I made money and they didn't, he thinks that they snaked him. When in reality, he was snaking them. He was lying to their face to use their platform. Well, I'm saying if there was no super chats, he was mad at the messages. But I'm saying if they had no money, they had no super chats, and they still did the Phil debrief episode, he wouldn't have cared because there would have been no money to follow it. There would have been no money from the day before. If you took the money out of the equation, Phil would not give a shit. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm just going in a roundabout way of saying it because I'm trying to sound intelligent.
It's a good day for them. But in reality, if it weren't for other people, they wouldn't be able to ever have any popularity. It's the only reason they get anything.
So what you're saying, this whole entire thing for your casino arc was 4D chess that you were playing them to the point that you would hurt your own reputation and career?
You think it was about the clout
Rich,
and people liking him?
I cased probably
fair enough
6 or 7 different individuals who
as an excuse. That's also a good point. He does tend to do that a lot.
Figure out how to get in on it and see what would happen. And after looking at all of these different people, all right, someone in my chat one day had said, did you hear about Kino Casino? Did you hear that they're also making fun of review tab?
True, he really does want people
just
to
like he's making fun of you and back and forth. And did you hear that they're constantly making fun of him in their content? Okay? And I said, no, I don't know anything about these guys. I didn't. But I went over there and I actually watched their content once. And I knew from the first moment that
he watched their content once. Bro, not once. You were in their chat multiple times, begging, pleading with them to give you a mod, to let you be a mod, to get the people out of there that were making fun of you. Like, get the fuck out of here, Phil. Do you think the internet just erases itself based upon what you fucking say from day to day? Bro, you were literally in their chat asking to see Andy's ripped abs, bro. He begged for a wrench. He begged to be a mod for them.
I started watching their show, this was going to be the one that was going to work if I was going to try to make this happen, okay? Now, Rich, I'm going to be honest with you again. You have unwittingly been a part of this.
Bro, you know what this reminds me of? Guys, do you remember when EDP445 did the Obama interview? Where he tried to prove his innocence by claiming that it was all a setup? Bro, this is his Obama interview. Yeah, EDP did an interview with an Obama bot where he tried to prove that he was innocent by interviewing himself. Yep.
Since day one. Because
I think it's a few years old, actually.
That I contacted them. You were the reason why I affiliated with them. The whole co-op, react to your documentary.
Well, at least that's one thing that Andy said was...
Hold on, let me show you. I think it might be this.
The incident that took place on April 18th, 2021.
Yep, here it is.
Actually didn't occur. So, explain what actually happened.
Oh, it's simple what fucking occurred. I was set up. There's nothing to sit back and try to, conscrew or try to, make it look like something different than what the fuck it already was. Like, I was set the fuck up, period. You know what I mean? And it's total bullshit, bro.
Okay, so you're saying that you were set up. Now, explain how that actually happened.
Well, first and foremost, in the very beginning, I was emailed by Chet, because, I'm assuming, I'm fucking guessing that somebody from, the actual Wavelength Production Studios, forwarded my email over to him. That's how he fucking
This is
got
when
it
he
in the first place. That's how he was able to get in contact with me. You know what I mean?
He's claiming that he was an actor and that this was all an act and a setup that got out of hand. But, bro, you sent dookie pictures to people, bro. Shut the fuck up.
And so we started chatting back and forth here and there and stuff like that, and then
I still can't believe he did this.
Whole, we scheduled a time to meet and things of that nature. Went over to Rite Aid. Javier, the camera guy, he walked me over to Chet. You feel me? And, Chet basically had some chat logs and stuff like that. And he just wrote out a scenario and just told me to go with it. And that's what happened.
And what gave you the confidence that Chet Goldstein was actually affiliated with Wavelength Productions?
Again, in the email that I received from him, it had the Wavelength Productions, it had the logo, it had, a proper outing, when you look at emails and shit like that, if it's from like an actual business studio, like someone who's like an actual company,
okay,
it'll have like sincerely.
Yep. That was the Obama interview, bro. It's not that long. But dude, it is. It's not even put in, it's not even centered. It's like it's centered lowly, like to the bottom, but it's not centered in the center. Bro, he did fucking what? He can't be that retarded. He did what? Bro, I know Raven's own sister was on stream calling him a retard, but he can't be that dumb. You've got, what a fucking retard. Bro, no, I missed that part. Shit. What? No,
It's
that was
true.
when I was like
as unwitting as
still
you
on the
think, but
outside.
yes.
I was coming into the
Ashton
community.
kept on
then,
saying
I
that
believe.
you went to him. And now I see that that is actually accurate. Okay.
Oh, you're gonna see it's accurate because I'm gonna show you all of it. I have it all right here, and we're gonna look at it together. But I just need everyone to understand what the premise is and what's going on here. Is that the whole idea was to get in the good graces of the casino, to find a way to collab that was going to get me over, that was going to get me some popularity, make me some money, but also at the same time, make them think I'm some kind of a fucking idiot, so that they will always think that I'm indebted to them, that I'm always going to do what they say, because I know how they are. Let's be honest here. We know Ashton. We know Andy.
Bro.
These guys are not squeaky clean. These guys have burned every bridge. They don't have friends. They can't have friends.
Yet you were still absolutely dying to work with them, though.
Oh, not dying to work with them. They were a means for me to finally get out of the...
Oh, Phil, that is bullshit. That is bullshit, because at no fucking point would people look at the casino and go, I don't like these guys anymore. You know who I'm gonna go to? The guy that wears grandma clothes and has a receding hairline and a Bell's palsy's mouth. I'm gonna go to Darkside Phil. That didn't happen a single goddamn time. Not one time. So, if you were to snake them and fight with them, what benefit would that give you? You would have no benefit to doing this. It would only come with negatives. So why the fuck would you even try it? For somebody that's so business focused, why would you harm your business in this manner? Because now you legitimately are gonna fucking be getting these fucking things that you claim we've been doing for the longest time. Trying to ruin your business, trying to make you homeless, trying to shut off your money. All of it. All those things that you claim that we do are going to happen to you now because of the enemies that you're making. Do you not understand this? Like, moron, you purposefully put your real name out there, your street address, where you live. You admitted to having a DoorDash addiction. That just begs for door knocks. Not saying that it should happen, but you laid the groundwork for people to do that. You have to understand that. And nobody's going to give a shit about your claim of, yeah, well, if they show up here, they're just going to be arrested. People who solicit aren't going to be arrested. For example, somebody that delivers a pizza, somebody that does at-home services, somebody that might be an electrician or a technician, they're not going to get arrested. And those are the type of people that are going to be sent to your fucking house, bro. You put your address out there in the open. Again, I'm not saying that this should happen. Don't misconstrue my words. This should never happen. Don't do it. But you've laid the groundwork for it. You've literally paved the way with golden bricks and a sign saying, come at me over here. I live there. Who would do that? I'm telling you, it's evil, but when you put your address out there, Rich, when you put your fucking location out there, Phil, you've got to kind of expect people to find that shit, especially when you show people in fucking Microsoft Flight Simulator what the outside of your house looks like. Good job, dumbass.
The position that I was in, being the whipping boy of the internet. And
You're
that was the intention
gonna be
from day one.
the whipping boy
Everything that I laid out,
every
conversation
part of
I had
the
with
internet
them,
now,
every
buddy.
late night bullshit session I had with them when I should have been asleep, every time I was on their streams kissing their butt, throwing the
Oh, you mean the time when you were trying to get on that fucking round ball that we call PPP? Well, I call him Triple P. I don't know about you guys, but I call him Triple P, the world's fattest champion. Seems to work for him.
The super memberships or whatever.
He thinks it'll save him, bro. He thinks it will save him.
They think they have something on
triple
me.
bypass.
They're insane. How they didn't know.
They do.
How they didn't know that everything I was saying was fake, I don't know. Because,
oh my God.
Mean, just to...
Bro, no, dumbass. Everything you said was truthful, was real in your own mind. Everything they said was a lie to play you, dumbass. When they talk shit about fucking It's a Gundam, they weren't really talking shit about It's a Gundam. They were playing into your insecurity and how stupid you are because you believe anybody that says, oh, I don't like Rich, you automatically think, oh, hey, that person is my friend now. It's literally how you fell in with Kino Casino. The enemy of my enemy. But what you didn't realize is it wasn't my enemy of my enemy. It was an eye for an eye. And now you're blind. You get it? You understand? You did it to yourself, dumbass. And you deserve it.
I'll give you some examples here. I said my wife was sick and she had found God. And now because of that, I can't do this idea that you came up with. And they bought it. I said, oh, my rabbit is sick, so I can't.
Mind you, he just admitted to saying that his wife had cancer because this is all in the fucking DMs. His wife had cancer, and that's why he couldn't do it. And she became religious because of it. But he lied about that. She doesn't, according to him. So he either lied about it or she has it and he's lying about it. Either way, he's lying. And then he lied about the rabbit. A dying animal? You think making jokes about dying things is okay? Your wife, your animals, and your mother? What are you going to do when you disappear in April, bro? For a week. When you disappear in April to go be with your mother, it's just going to confirm everything the casino said. And if you don't, because you don't want the detractors to get a W on you, you're a pathetic piece of shit loser. There is not a thing in the world that would stop me from being at my mother's side on her deathbed. Not internet shit, not work, not real life, nothing, bro. Like, come on, it's your parents. And I can guarantee you, he's not going to go. Because we found out that it's the truth.
Do the show today. My mom is sick, so I have to fly. I keep saying sick, like every excuse was someone's sick. Yet they bought it every time.
No, they didn't.
Or you were just nervous to go do it, so you canceled on it.
And you
lied about it. The point I'm making here is
No, see, you made your point, and the point was that you were lying to get out of working with them because you didn't want to work with them. But you were afraid of their audience, so instead of telling them, I don't want to work with you guys because you do the content that I don't like, and I don't want to be a part of that content, you went with it because you knew if you said that, they would destroy you. So guess what they're going to do now, bro? They're going to destroy you. And you have no one, not a single fucking person to blame but yourself. You have no veterinarian that's going to come in half drunk, claiming to steal $300 from you for fucking pet bills. It's just not going to happen this time. There's no boogeyman to blame. You're at fault here. This is happening because of you, and you're a piece of trash for bringing your wife into it and saying that she had health problems. You piece of garbage.
Basically manipulated them as much as I could to make them do what I wanted. I got what I wanted. And then when I knew they were going to eventually
yeah, I
turn
actually
on me, 'cause we all
believe
knew that
that
from
too.
the get-go, right? We knew
But I
they were
also
gonna turn.
think
That's kind of just gross too, Phil. You would say that your family members were sick to get out of doing things with them.
Oh,
to
it's
get
not.
a one up on them.
No. It's not to get out of doing things with them.
But you just
to
said
basically-
that. You just said that. Literally, you just said that. You just said I said this stuff because I didn't want to do those things.
Have a way to make them believe that everything I'm saying is true, because no one is going to think that someone's going to just pull that out of their ass. But
you literally just pulled it out of your ass. The thing, dude, the thing people go to first when they don't want to do something is, I'm sick. I can't do that. I'm sick. I have to get over this. I have to deal with me being sick. But in your mind, you go to other people because you're a fucking narcissist. That nothing bad can happen to Phil. Nothing. It has to be everybody else. And it has to be the responsibility of everybody else for why I can't do the specific thing that I agreed to. You never want the blame to be placed on you. The blame always has to be on something or someone else. If it isn't Jasper getting the blame for blood work that costs $300, it's Kat for being super fat and needing medication or whatever the fuck. You're a piece of garbage, dude. Seriously.
to beat a snake, you have to be the better snake, Rich. It's the only
You're
way to
not
do
a
it.
snake.
You have to make them believe.
You're a dying rat in a field of poisonous, venomous fucking snakes. You realize that, right? You're a half-eaten fish in a sea of sharks, and you don't get it. You don't get it. You don't understand.
Believe the lies. And man, did I pull the wool over their eyes for the last 8 months until finally I had enough. And the truth is, I had enough for 2 reasons. Number 1, the disrespect to my family. And number 2, because I wasn't getting anything out of.
My dude, the only reason you started caring about your family all of the sudden and put your foot down with Kat is because the detractors were coming out and saying that you are a bad husband. You are a horrible, horrible husband that uses your wife, abuses her mentally, makes fun of her to her face. Bro, when you brought her on stream and you saw that she was heavier than she was the last time, you had the fucking audacity, the unmitigated gall to say, nope, guys, she's not pregnant. And then you have the fucking foresight, right? Later down the fucking line, you fucking moron, to sit here and say that your wife has ovarian cancer. You are a fucking loser. A piece of garbage of the highest fucking order, bro. Oh no, guys, she's not pregnant. To a woman that you told other people that has ovarian cancer. They can't have kids. You're a fucking demon, a monster in human skin.
The collaboration anymore. These guys, all right.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. People often say, well, Kat, she makes the decisions too, but I don't think she does. I think she has an inferiority complex that is compounded by her autism, that is reinforced by Phil's enabling. And maybe that's why he's cut her off from her family. Because, mind you, it is not Kat that said not Leanna, but what's her sister's name? But anyway, what the fuck is her sister's name? I can't remember. But anyway, it wasn't Kat that didn't want to see her sister. It was Phil that said she couldn't be around. Jenna, thank you very much. It was Phil that put his foot down with her. And Phil was like, we. And it was never Kat or she, or Kat never spoke for herself. Kool-Aid girl, yep. You know? And now I can understand not wanting my wife who has like social issues to be around a woman who has drug problems. Because people who have drug issues and people who have social issues tend to not be good together, because one is, okay, I'm just going to boil it down to brass tacks. It's peer pressure, right? One will peer pressure the other, and the one who has the social cue issues will just fall for the pressure because they don't understand what's happening. So in that aspect, I can understand why Phil would want to keep Jenna from Kat. But Jenna has been in a sobriety halfway house. Now, whether or not she's sober, I don't know, because I'm not her, and I don't know the person, right? But why can't she get back on her feet? And for Phil to control Kat like that, I don't think her weight gain is all Kat. I think it's primarily Phil. She's not fucking sober, dude. No way. I've seen her videos, bro, and she's all oily and sweaty, bro.
I've ever seen for content.
Oh, God.
They were pitching ideas that would have worked, but they didn't have any clout
That
to make
poor
the
woman.
ideas happen. They legitimately couldn't make anything work that would have made us money. It was...
Bro, they didn't have the clout. Don't they have thousands of people on their show every day? It doesn't. Yeah, I gotta agree. It has to be. It has to be. Because if you look at Kat and how she lived her life before Phil, right? And then you look at Kat and how she lived her life after Phil, there has to be something that made Kat switch from being who she was into who she is. And I think that common denominator is Phil. Because if you look at what he was doing with Leanna, right? He was trying to shoehorn her into the same position that Kat is in. And Leanna put her foot down and said no. And left. Which, good on her, but Kat, not understanding the snake that Phil was to women like her, fell for it.
Cancellation, denial, cancellation, denial. After. It was like endless.
I'm not a fan of the casino, but they did have the clout and the money to make things happen.
God damn,
I
Rich with the bitch slap right to the face. Nope, you're wrong.
Is you.
Yep.
I don't.
Rich.
I mean, how do you do so? You're trying to tell me to believe that for the past 8 months, when you were sitting there gifting them subs, simping for them like hours upon hours on end, trying to get them to pay attention to you like they were Beavis and Butthead and you were Stewart, that this was all some big plan to get vengeance on people that if you never affiliated with, you would be in a better position than you are now. You went Phil. It's just a fact. You saw that there was an opportunity there.
And see, in my mind, that's what happens. When you are in a relationship with somebody and you fuck up by not giving them certain things, you'll tend to give the things that you neglected to give to the prior partner to that new partner. Because you're afraid if you don't give those things to that partner, they're going to leave.
Friendship with you. You called Andy Worski your gaming soulmate. You were so into all this to the point that you let them shame you.
Right.
And now in the end, after all is said and done, you come out on the other end looking worse, and you're trying to tell me that this is 4D.
Bro, and to me, that's part of the controlling. That in what modern time are you not allowed to have a social media? That's like telling somebody in the 70s you can't have a television, right? You can't read a newspaper. You can't know the outside world. Bro, in the modern age, not being able to be on social media is like being locked in a room. It's basically locking you out of public consumption. You can't really talk to people. And to me, that's why her having a part-time job is pivotal to her mental health. If you take that part-time job away from Kat and you left her in that house 24/7, I genuinely believe she would go insane. Yeah, I don't think it's her choice, bro.
Yes. Come on, Phil.
It is poison.
I could never possibly.
But how would I put it into perspective? Okay, in ancient Athens, they used to do this thing where they would have an open court, right? Where two people could go up and to debate their topics, right? And then they would pass the topics and the conversations off to the audience, and they would have a debate over the topics that were discussed. And I feel in the modern era, without social media, you are cutting yourself off from those types of conversations. And I view it as not necessarily a negative, because you can still get those conversations in real life, or like out in the wild, right? Outside of your house. But you're not gonna get as many, and they won't be as in depth. They'll just be in passing, right? So I don't know. I view it as a positive and as a negative. As with anything, you should do it in moderation.
Come out at the end of anything.
Because people think, oh, dopamine, right? It will only affect me if I do a substance, or if I have an eating issue, or if I have... No, dopamine will fuck you up with anything that you like.
Looking worse. You understand that, right? Like, I have been the joke of the internet for over a decade. No one listens to me. Even when I have valid things to say, they do that stupid meme that's like, oh, the guy thinks the most, the worst guy you know finally made a good comment, syndrome. Right? So there's nothing to lose.
Live with
there was only anything to gain.
But you can also live without it.
My viewers don't give two shits about the drama
they do.
At all.
They do.
They don't want the drama. And that's why when it started to get to the point where these guys wanted me to completely change who I was, all of my content into drama content, that's when I basically broke it off, and they completely lost their minds because they're so angry.
Bro, you didn't break it off. You didn't. Ashton literally forced your hand by making fun of the land whale that we call Fat Cat, bro.
That I was the one in charge of the situation all along and not them. All right? Enough of us chatting about this. And you, by the way,
you weren't in charge of the situation. You absolutely weren't. But
you feel free to go ahead. You feel free to chime in. I'm okay with this. All right, you feel free to chime in whenever you want.
But clearly the reason wasn't you're here okay with this.
Is very simple. I want you to witness this going down. Okay, and you were the one who basically started the whole.
No, let's call a spade, bro. Rich was there because you thought that because you were going against Kino Casino, that Rich would join you to go against Kino Casino. But that would never happen because Rich is afraid of them. Rich is afraid of them. Right? Show and tell with manipulated DMs. Apparently, by what Ashton says, Phil edited some of the shit out.
Whole thing with me reaching out to them and us reacting to your react. So, or your
documentary,
excuse me.
You guys are all shocked,
fair
right?
That you be a part of this. You understand where I'm coming from? You think that that's a fair thing?
You
to have
understand?
here?
I hate when he fucking
Sure,
says
Phil.
that, bro.
Well, let's see what you got, boy. Let's see.
All right. So it's already been said. I didn't realize that they had said this, but we'll go ahead and we'll show it anyway. And by the way, because now I'm going to start showing stuff, everybody. FYI, at the very end of this show, I am going to give you all the links.
I have
the
not
raw
read
files
all of
that
the
contain all
text
the DMs
messages,
between
bro.
myself, PPP, and Andy, so you can all read them in the entirety for yourself. All right. So that way, there's no shock. There's he hid something. He edited anything. I've edited nothing. This is all 100% unedited. You're going to be able to watch, and appropriately, they're all nicely in PDF files, which makes sense since those guys have been sweeping for PDFs for quite some time.
Oh, really? Oh, really? They're sweeping for pedophiles? Let's talk about Dizzyeight, you fucking Bell's palsy ass bitch. Let's talk about Darish and how you decided for the longest time to cover up the fact that Darish stole his mother's credit card and quite literally gave you thousands of dollars to the point she had to put a stop to it. Let's talk about that, Phil. And let's talk about how you swept for Darish because you felt indebted to him, right? And had him working on your content, right? You gave him a place in your community, and he was a pedophile. Is a pedophile. Has fucking not profiles, but playlists of little girls, bro. And you defended him more than you stuck up for your wife. Unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable.
So now you can read all their logs for yourself online. Okay, so so we start off with the very first time that I ever talked to them. And this, I guess they've already admitted to this, that it was me that reached out to them, okay, in a DM, basically saying, hey, you know, is this the host of Kino Casino? I'm trying to find a way to talk to the guys, but I can't find anything official, okay? And so we had a conversation back and forth. Of course, the first thing we're talking about is you, Rich. I saw your vid about Review Tech threatening June the King. Today I have my take on it on my podcast. And I basically used you as the way to bridge that gap and get that initial introduction with these guys. In fact, the whole idea of us
so you're the Batman. You're the Batman of drama merchants, going selflessly to take them down.
You can call it whatever you want. You know, you really can't.
I hate that when I saw this for the first time, I thought that too. I thought, oh, that's what he's doing. He's the superhero of detracting. He's the Batman of lolcows, right? And then Rich is like, oh yeah, haha, you're Batman. I was like, you fat fuck. What's the matter, little buddy?
The point here is, I was the one who initiated the contact. I was the one who actually suggested the react to your documentary. They had kind of alluded to it on their show, but they never thought it would happen because they never spoken to me before. So I contacted them and I said, let's do it. This is a genius idea. I knew that was going to make money for both of us. I knew that was going to be big. It was going to bring me notoriety. It was going to bring them notoriety.
Oh, you're such a
I'm the one who put that great idea out there and made it happen. All right? It was me, not them. It was my actual making it happen that started this whole thing and got this popularity train rolling. Now,
no,
there's a few pages here. I was going back and forth.
Okay, Phil, I got a pin to pop on this. Here's what I think.
Go ahead.
I think you just your hate boner for me was throbbing. You saw that they were wiping the fucking floor with me, and you wanted in on it. And when they embraced you and treated you like one of the whack pack on Howard Stern, you got to.
Did you guys notice when he opened the folder that 5 and 6 were gone? It went from 3, or no, 4 and 5 were gone. It went from 3 to 6. I'll see if I can't find that
taste of more money. You got
that screenshot.
You thought they feigned friendship with you, which you bought into. At least is what it seems like. No, better yet, I think it was friendship, and I think you saw that you were getting money. So you like your nose.
So he
was
definitely
Andy Worski's asshole now must be spread out maybe like another 2 inches because your nose was so deep in there.
See,
like what I think you're doing now, as a matter of fact, nose was so deep in there.
See, it says 3 by It's a Gundam, and then it goes into 6 Medicare arc. 4 and 5 are gone. Or he just can't count, and he thinks 3 is the next number that follows. Or 6 is the next number that follows 3, excuse me. I don't know. I think he might not be a valedictorian.
What I think you're doing now, as a matter of fact, I guarantee what you're doing now is because you know that this is disastrous for you, that you're trying to be like, aha, all along, it was my master plan. It was not your master plan, Phil. Okay. It wasn't. And look, that's fine, but I'm just not going to believe it. I don't think anybody with like a upper
he probably spent
IQ
the whole day coming up with an idea.
So we have 2.
He spent like that whole day coming up with the idea. How can I turn this to my favor? How? And then he just pulls it straight out of his ass. I'll pretend like they didn't get me and I got them by doing what they did to me, but to them. Nobody fucking believes you. It's literally, I'm rubber in your glue. That's your defense.
Two files here, and I'm just seeing if I can actually show you. So I don't know if you can see them on the screen, everybody. Here, I'm going to try to get this here. So this is the file of me talking with Andy in DMs. Okay, this is all of them, back to back, 182 kilobytes. The one of me talking with PPP, 1,031 kilobytes. Why?
When did you make these, Phil? Right click on them, go to properties.
He made them like 2 days ago.
Where's properties on here?
He made them 2 days ago.
Right click on whatever file you're clicking on.
Just made them a couple days ago. Here it is.
He made it 2 days ago.
I got them off of my X archives, and I used a third-party app to turn them into PDF files so that we could actually see them today. Because or else you have to be in a web browser to see them. So the point I'm making why I brought that up is I almost never talk to Andy at all. Almost never. Andy is kind of the guy from what I'm to understand. He's the tech guy, all right? He's the guy that gets everything together, that the data runs the show. But PPP is the guy who actually gets the ideas, talks to people, wrangles them in, etc. I talk to PPP about 40,000 times more than I ever talk to Andy. And it's hilarious because the internet has this misconception that like I'm bros with Andy and we always talk behind the scenes about games. We almost never talked at all.
Then why did you call him your gaming soulmate? Why did you ask Andy to show you his ripped abs? Yeah, dude, nobody thought that. He said that verbatim. Yeah.
I have endless folders here of me talking to PPP about all the stuff we did. I have a tiny folder of the few things I ever talked to Andy about. It's just a complete fallacy. But that's what people want to believe because they want to think that like I was his best friend or something. Andy, I'll be honest, I think that PPP is kind of the brains, while Andy is just kind of the operations. You know what I'm saying? Like, never did Andy contact me about an idea. Never was he the go-between. It was always PPP who was the guy who was talking to me about everything the entire time. Okay?
Yeah, because it was...
So what I'd like to do...
It was you... What would you like to do, Phil? You were the ones who were trying to make it like they were your best. So you're saying even when you defended them and went to bat for them with the numerous clips that are out there, and on your own channel, I've seen them, because you always say it's always the track. When they're like, oh, they're just razzing me. This was... So you were humiliating yourself to get like a master plan of vengeance back on them?
I 1,000,000% knew they were going to turn on me eventually. There was no way they were never going to because they've done it to everyone. They've burned every bridge. They do whatever they need for personal gain. And everyone knows this. Like you said, you knew it. Everyone else knew it. But everyone apparently thought I was the dumbest motherfucker on the planet. I'm not. I knew exactly what was going on from day one. They seem to be the only ones who didn't get it. They thought I was that dumb.
Or you were desperate.
There's a difference between desperation and actually finally taking control of your destiny, which I decided to do for once instead of just being stomped on all day by everybody.
The best way to take control of your destiny is to not get yourself involved in that. The best way to take control of your destiny is to do rewards for your audience that isn't you eting pizza. Like,
I still don't know how that's a reward for someone else.
The way to control your destiny.
I really want him to explain how him getting to eat pizza is a reward for someone else.
Is to make content that's more entertaining. You could say I'm a clown, I'm a buffoon, all
bro,
you want
this is
to,
the problem.
But
he let Rich get the dub.
Tattoo of you near my left ass cheek,
it's
as you
more
as Dracula
violence
from
now.
Castlevania, is bizarre. Maybe it's a little gay too. That's okay. But it's like people want entertainment, and right now you're not. Oh, I know we're going a little off topic here. You're not offering it. Did you see the video where someone said that you the middle manager, Phil? Did you see that video?
No, I don't watch any of those videos.
Why did he wear the grandma move sweater?
It's think about it though. It's not. Don't even take it as an insult. There's truth to it. Where you're talking about a pizza party, like it's like if you're working in commission sales and you hit a goal, but the reward is your audience watches you eat pizza.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You see where that's insane?
Rich, there's entire businesses on the internet based on people eating food on camera. You realize this, right?
But Phil, okay, I understand what you're saying, but I was like, let me go see his DSP. Where do you have your DSP tries it on DSP Reacts, right?
Yeah.
That's where you put them. One of them at most got 2,000 views. You probably made like 75 cents off of it.
Yeah, because if that's not the business, that's the reward. Get it? I've already raised the funding for it, so I can do it. It's the opposite of what you're thinking.
So then you're solidifying what I'm saying, that the reward for your audience is to watch you eat something that they could drive down the street and get themselves.
Because that's what they want. When they watch me do those videos, they see me try a product that maybe they will then get because they want to try it. And numerous people over the years have said, hey, I saw you try that, and I went and got it, man, it was good.
That
or the flip side, man, I couldn't believe it was that bad. I had to try it for myself, and man, it was really bad.
That's
or,
never
hey,
happened.
I was going to get that, but I didn't because I saw your video, and now I realize it's bad, so thanks for saving me the trip and the money. But we're not here to argue about the validity of DSP Tries It.
Yeah,
we're here
that never
to
fucking
take a
happened.
look.
Not a single fucking time.
Can we talk about your microphone setup too as well?
Who cares about my mic?
This is 1 point deducted from Griffin fat ass over here. You should not, and even he admits this, you should not have brought up the microphone. You absolutely should have brought up his insistent drinking on stream. I know, but Rich wanted, like, the hard-hitting points, right? And this was a softball compared to the alternative that he wanted to ask him, which was the drinking question. And if it was me, I would have asked him, why are you drunk on stream all the fucking time while you sit there and lie to tell people that you aren't drinking? He drinks watered-down gin. And if he doesn't, he's one of the biggest retards I have ever seen in my life, bro. Because there's no way someone's legitimately that stupid while being sober. He really did do it to derail Rich. But Rich kind of brought up a bad point. And I feel the drinking point was the better thing he should have went with.
Microphone setup. What are you talking about?
Because you've given me a lot of flack about this microphone setup, but this is actually technically the correct way. It ties
in front of me.
I need you guys to understand how much the detractors matter to this man. He literally changed the way he laughs because we made fun of it sounding like ack, ack, ack. Now it sounds like a dying seal or like a seagull.
Have 8 months of private conversations with the casino, exposing them for their idiotic attitudes, the things that they said to insult people that will get them in hot water. We've got all kinds of... You want to talk about my microphone? You're for real right now.
Well, yeah, because it kind of ties into the... Like, I know you're being disingenuous, making it like this is a master plan. And you're even with small
well,
things,
I guess I'm ignorant.
Who gives a shit about the microphone? Who gives... But the point is that you're disingenuous, Phil.
Because I came in when the ack was in full swing, bro.
Go ahead.
Actually, I need to sip my luscious drink here. You're using your dynamic microphone
I don't believe
right now,
that someone
like
would
a
laugh
shotgun
like
mic.
this for real.
Actually, if you watch PPP, he also has a dynamic
like the worst
microphone
laugh
like you and
I've
I have.
ever heard in
you
my
watch
life.
Other podcasters. This is how you're supposed to have the mic. It's also supposed to be very close to your mouth because dynamic microphones mitigate how much audio is around the room.
I know. I'm well aware of this, Rich. I can do it too.
Right?
But you're not, though, because I'm looking at you right now on screen.
Because I don't want the mic up my ass when I do my podcast, Rich. It still sounds good, and I don't have to suck the mic.
So, no, it doesn't. Your mic actually sounds worse than your previous mic. Many people have said it. You're using your mic wrong, and I feel like you're using your mic wrong just out of pride to get back at me and other people that are telling you that you... Phil, put the mic, get a different stand, put it so it's here near your mouth, and you don't have to have these 8 billion different filters in OBS that makes it sound like you sound like you're going through...
Bro, you know who does this? Well, you guys wouldn't know. But you know who does this? My disabled autistic brother. When you bring up the fact that he did something wrong, or that he made a mistake, or that he did something he shouldn't have, he puts his head in his hands and he shakes his head exactly like that. And if you keep going, then he'll go to one hand, and then he'll start shaking his head in one hand. Bro, this is identical to what he does. And I shit you not, this is autism. This is autism. And you could say, well, you might be reading into it. It's just his head and his hand. But it isn't. He's hiding his face with his hand and shaking his hand with his head. That's autism. It's the same thing that would make him, instead of raising the chocolate bar to his mouth, he moves his mouth to the chocolate bar. This is autism.
But
he claims he doesn't have it.
Get a different stand.
Watch, he'll start shaking his head
near
here.
Your mouth, and you don't have to have these 8 billion different filters in OBS.
See,
that makes it sound like you sound like you're going through puberty again. Your voice sounded significantly fuller and better before. You know, and who cares about the mic stand in and of itself? It just shows, Phil, how you're disingenuous and why I can't believe you about this whole master plan.
The mic is what shows I'm disingenuous. And that's why you can't believe the evidence I'm about to show you.
Yes. Also, we could go into too when you got that mini PC. When you just
Rich, this is another point docked, bro. When he says, this is what makes you think I'm disingenuous, you should have hit his ass with no. What makes me think you're disingenuous is you cheated with your now wife when she was in a relationship with another man. You defrauded the government and you lied during your deposition under oath. You are a habitual liar. You are a out and out a devout narcissist. You are an absolute idiot. You think everybody else is dumb and you're intelligent. Everything you say that comes out of your mouth is a negative towards someone else and propping yourself up off that negativity that you just placed on someone else. Everything is self-serving. You are absolutely disingenuous because nothing you say has any generosity, has any sort of genuine thought to it. It is only survival. What can I do to better my position at the cost of anything and everyone around me? That's what makes you disingenuous, not some microphone.
Just make up facts
Folks,
off the top of your,
folks,
your head.
if anything, all right, let it be said. All right, I tried to get Rich involved in this because I thought he would add something. I thought he'd be interested in what I've done here.
Yeah, the
but
mini
I guess
PC was
he's more
dumb.
interested
I'm
in
interested.
arguing
I'm
little
interested.
idiosyncrasies of nonsense. This is what he thinks is entertaining to the internet.
No,
this is amazing.
It's not idiosyncrasies. It's not idiosyncrasies.
Oh,
Phil.
And you guys want to know another like absolute sign that a person has autism is that they will overly enunciate something so they don't mispronounce a word, right? And he does it all the time.
What about, can I ask a question? Now, that mic stand that boom arm that you got, you realize I actually found that I have it right here.
See? Oh my God, look at that scrunched up, half-drawn fucking... What
and
is
that boom arm that you got?
Monkey?
You realize I actually found that I have it right here. You spent how many hours and you ended up breaking the boom arm, right?
Rip.
Why do you make your audience do your work for you instead of you looking up? It's a Shure Broadcast 1 mic. Hold on, don't say folks yet. Don't say folks yet.
This was actually
30-second mic video.
This was actually a good one. Why can you never do your own work off stream? Why is it always the responsibility of your audience? Exactly. Desert Cruiser, I was just going to get to that.
Why couldn't you look that up instead of having a multi-hour stream where your audience's time, you have to understand, is valuable? Like, I got a flashcard that I found in a drawer.
You don't even have to fucking tell me, bro. The Jostler is so up his ass, it's not even funny. Like, there was a time where Rich was in my chat trolling, right? And the Jostler just comes in and does the exact same. It's really weird.
Find new firmware for it. Not going to get. Point being is that I looked into things myself, looked it up myself. I didn't fire up a stream and say, "Hey guys, watch me be a dumbass and look how to make this flashcard work." These all tie into
all right,
why.
Guys, give me a minute. I'll be right back.
Anyone with a modest intelligence is not going to be like, "Man, Phil was getting the one up on them," because you. What? Yes, please talk to me, Phil.
For a decade, you had a channel called Review.
One sec, dudes. Hey, I'll be right back. I'm going to take him to the bathroom.
For those guns? I've got the permit right here.
Come on, Peter. Let's go to the bathroom.
Denied.
ticking of the countdown clocks tonight. Girl, we need some action. If we're gonna make it like a true survivor, we need some action. If we wanna take our love away from here, we need a living passion to believe in, burning hearts and a brand new feeling. Action. If we're gonna make it like a true survivor. Oh, crawling from the ashes, the phoenix rise again, fighting for life, for good, for all that we believe in. God, we need some action. If we're gonna make it like a true survivor, we need some action. If we wanna take our love away from here, we need a living passion to believe in.
All right, guys, I'm sorry about that. I'm back.
ViewTech USA. And in the last
This
5
was
minutes
such
that
a
you have wasted
stupid
of everyone's
fucking
time,
point.
you've reviewed more tech than you
This
did
is
in your
all
entire
Phil
decade
has
on
on
your...
Rich every single time.
Rich, he never even reviews tech content.
Yeah, Rich is trying to get away from the whole tech thing, so he doesn't review tech anymore. Rich is an idiot, but he has done this thing that a business major really should understand. It's called rebranding.
Your own channel.
Okay, but that still doesn't take away from what I'm saying right now.
You are the master of bad timing and how to make things
Later,
that are
Nugs. Thanks for
exciting
stopping by,
incredibly
man.
Fucking boring. Good God, man.
You're just so
Don't you
boring.
understand?
How is it boring when I'm saying things like you?
Oh my God.
You
Dude,
said
aliens would be landing outside, and you would be talking about how your stove is malfunctioning. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Phil,
We are not
aliens would be-
here to talk about a microphone, you incredible buffoon. Could you stop
But
for
the
5
mic-
seconds
no,
and
don't get
just
angry. I'm
stop
not angry.
wasting everyone's time so we can
Don't
actually
get
talk about the
angry.
subject matter?
I am not angry. You also talk. It's what I'm trying to tell you, Phil, is that you see why it's hard to
All right.
believe you. You also just recently said you can't have another Castlevania marathon. There's
Rich.
only 4 classic Castlevania games.
Rich,
Yeah,
Is that-
he
is
is.
that true,
He's
Phil?
stupid.
we have several topics to choose from. All right, we do. I would like to let you choose a topic that we can delve into first. Okay, which topic would you like to delve into? We've got Mudahar. It's a Gundam, which is a nice one because apparently It's a Gundam was coming on their show on Friday, so you'd be interested to see
Shout-
what she
this
has to say
was
about him.
so
Shout out to
fucking
It's a Gundam.
stupid.
He's my dude. Continue.
Oh, this was so fucking stupid. I still can't believe he actually brought these up, bro. I can't believe he brought these up. It's clear that they were just they were playing you.
Medicare and how they basically ball suck this guy constantly and think that he's the end all be all of content. 2 entire folders of their incredibly awful ideas that I had to keep shutting down because they were so bad. PPP incredibly embarrassing himself because he actually thought that like we were like bosom buddies or possibly he's gay. I'm not sure.
Oh,
you know, we'd have to
he's
see
the
there.
gay one.
And then,
He's the gay one, not the guy that's been begging to see Andy's fucking abs, bro. That's not the gay guy. Nah, that couldn't be. Nope.
and basically how it fell apart. Also things that they said about Keemstar that I think you'll find pretty interesting. Or we could just look at the very few things that I talked about with Worski, because we barely ever spoke. I'm telling you, like it was such minuscule stuff. Where would you like to begin?
Are any of those as embarrassing as when you pressure your audience to donate so your wife doesn't have to cook dinner?
This was
Oh,
a
they're actually way
banger.
more embarrassing because I do that publicly as an act to entertain, while
There you
these
go.
things were done behind the scenes in good confidence. So that's the difference.
All right, right, so you know what, Phil? Show me something, man. Show me. I want you to show me why you called Strangely Lex a slut too. When I show more skin, as a matter, I show more skin than she does.
That's not in here because that just happened recently. We didn't even talk about that behind the scenes. We only talked about that on the show. So what you've seen there on, Smart Guys,
there's nothing to see.
There was nothing behind the scenes to talk about.
Wow.
So
that was just you being salty, but okay.
Oh yeah.
So what would you like to talk about here?
Oh,
or should I just pick one?
You knew Phil was salty with that Strangely Lex girl when he said, you take their money, you take it to the bank, and you enjoy it.
By the way, for the record, everyone's telling me to just dump you from the show because you've already derailed it so poorly, and they just want me to do this for myself. But I'm keeping you on here out of good faith. So what would you like to do?
Phil, you have over 1,300 viewers right now. I'm not seeing, the only one seeing is maybe because a couple people who want Ethan Ralph to come on, but no one's saying to dump me from the show. This is the most viewership. Like, you would need to do like 6 streams to get this much viewership.
They're not here for you, though, Rich. They're not here for you. I hate to tell you.
So you get this much viewership every day?
No, it's because I'm doing what I'm doing right now. I mean, you being on this, I'm doing this as a service to you because I did use you as the way to get this entire arc started. So I felt like it would be a respectful thing to do to have you on the show while I go through this. But I mean, if you're not interested,
press 1 if you want me to stay. Press 2 if you want me to go.
So I mean, if you're not interested, if you just want to talk about mics and shit, we could do that on another show, but that would not be this one. Okay. So what would you like to do?
It's Phil. There's mostly 1s here, Phil. There's only a handful of 2s.
Okay. Are you going to pick a topic, or do I pick, or do I dump you from the show? Those are the 3 options. You pick, I pick, or you get dumped. What would you like to do?
Notice how his demeanor changes when Rich proves that it's not his audience saying something, it's him. And now, mind you, a narcissist can never say I. It will always be we when there is blame to be had. But when there is success to be made, it is I, me, and only I. Right?
You could pick a topic, and then I'll pick the next one. How about that? Let me ask you a question. Oh, no, here's a good one. You keep on saying, even recently, in a video you just made a few weeks ago, that I'm on drugs when I don't even take edibles anymore. I haven't for the past 5 months. Why do you keep saying that?
This would have been a better point to bring up when you were trying to prove that he's disingenuous. Because here he is saying, don't listen to my detractors, when he's clearly listening to your detractors. It was the same criticism that Keemstar had of him. Why do you have such an issue with detractors when you go to detractors for certain content creators, specifically Keemstar and Rich?
I do believe that you're off drugs. Right now, you seem pretty coherent and clear. So, absolutely, that's true. You're definitely not on drugs.
This wasn't even a month ago. It was February 24th. You've even said that I drank weed seltzers. Why would you say things that aren't true, that you don't know about?
From what I've seen on your streams, you were drinking weed seltzers in the past. I don't
know
specifically what you're referencing, so I can't answer.
Phil,
I'm going to set this misconception to bed right now. Rich never did weed seltzers. Rich ate copious amounts of weed gummies. What he would do is he would start out the stream by eating maybe 1 or 2 of a 500 milligram bag of edibles, right? But by the end of the stream, he had downed at least 2 to 3 bags of those gummies, which would mean he was ingesting at least 1,500 milligrams of cannabis for one stream at the most. At the least, it was maybe a handful or a half a bag, but he was doing quite a bit. And having done it for as long as I have, I can recognize the fact that he was overdoing it because it was starting to affect his physical appearance. If you notice, the yellow tinged circles that were around Rich's eyes when he was heavily using cannabis are gone.
So, Phil, I've never had a weed seltzer in my entire life.
So I didn't know that. Do you want me to pick a topic, or are you going to pick one?
You could pick it. You didn't know that, but you went with it, though.
All
okay,
right.
continue.
So we'll start at the beginning. The whole point here, and this is what I want you guys to understand, is
excuse me.
When I started working with the casino, all right,
you lied out
the
your
big
ass.
idea was the co-op react to Rich's documentary, and that was the gold mine, and we all knew it, right? We knew this was going to be the big one, right? And then after that happened, it's like, well, what are we going to do next? And for me, it's like, well, you guys know what I can do. I play games. I can do that. So anything gaming related, I'm down for. But they said, well, we're the drama guys, right? We're going to come up with all these ideas of guests and things that you're going to interact with. So the very first one they had is, let's get...
Then you know what I would have done? I would have said, okay, Ashton, Andy, I'm not incredibly interested in your drama content. So, at the end of your streams, and when you're transitioning into doing the gaming content with Andy, I will come on for a daily rap style show, right? Where we quickly go over the topics of the day, and then we'll transition into the gaming content with Andy. But I mean, that's what you would do if, I don't know, you had a business sense and you knew there was money to be made, but you didn't necessarily like the type of content that was being made. At least you were still keeping your foot in the door while still being agreeable and trying to work with them. Come to find out, he shut down all of their bullshit. All of it.
Right now, let's strike when the iron is hot. Let's actually get Mudahar to do a co-op with us. We're going to do Chain Together with Mudahar, who's talked about you over and over the years. And it's going to be epic. It's going to be so awesome that Mudahar is going to be in the content, okay? And so here it is. We thought that we would do Chain Together, and, you know, they say Mudahar is going to be in it because he's like the biggest guy in their Rolex. Okay, I'm just paraphrasing because we don't want to read word for word here. Like I said, I'm going to drop the files at the end of the show so everyone can read them for themselves.
Nah, you should have read it word for word because your paraphrasing is worthless.
Word for word. That's why there's dates and everything here. Okay. There was a little bit of nonsense, and it was my fault because accidentally I didn't even know I had Mudahar blocked on Twitter, and I already publicly apologized for that. I didn't know that. So here's what ends up happening. After hyping this up that we're going to do Chain Together with Mudahar, Mudahar cancels last second, like literally last second. Now, doesn't tell me why Mudahar canceled, but says, well, we'll try to reschedule, but we want to try to rush it before the end of the month. What ends up happening?
This guy still doesn't believe that they were just
Mudahar
playing him.
Literally stops talking to these guys entirely. 100%.
Uh-huh.
Won't answer.
Because Mudahar had real life issues going on, dumbass.
To them, won't get back to them. Then, within one
Devastating.
Within one day, Mudahar deletes his entire Twitter account. Now, I had been talking, only once I had a conversation with Mudahar behind the scenes, and he had actually publicly apologized to me and said, hey, FYI, if the only thing that's really bad about you is that you've been begging for contributions on the internet and you were a little dishonest with your viewers,
that is by far
okay
not
that's fine.
the only
Let's
thing
jump
you've
on.
done.
Let's do this, Chain Together gameplay or whatever with the casino. But then within 24 hours, the guy backs out of it and deletes his entire Twitter account. So immediately, the first idea that I'm going to do and work with these guys supposed
that wasn't
to be big.
the reason. okay, this is boring. That wasn't the reason that he deleted the Twitter account.
Oh, you know what he said? I know exactly what he said. It was because of all the harassment he got and that people were being so nasty about certain things. I get that, and I'm not saying that's why he deleted his Twitter account. I'm saying this is
literally
the first
what you just fucking said.
That happened with these guys after the co-op react to your documentary. This is supposed to be our first big thing, and immediately it falls apart. Like, immediately it just doesn't happen. They can't contact the guy. They can't get him back. For some reason, this is supposed to be the biggest guy in their Rolodex. He's ghosting them now. Okay? So now we'll move on. I think there was like one more here, but these are just me going through with them saying, look, he deleted his Twitter. I hope that had nothing to do with us. And you know what? So Worski says, I think he chickened out because he can't handle the heat. That's what Worski said right here, that Mudahar can't handle the heat of doing it.
These are all nothing burgers. Where is the damning stuff here?
We're going to go we're going through a lot of stuff. Relax. Relax.
And nothing
here,
he showed was damning at all.
He basically says,
not a fucking
I think
thing.
That, oh, this is Josh Moon. He says that basically the detractors contacted Mudahar en masse, and he thinks that he pussied out because your detractors contacted him. That's what PPP says. Okay?
Screen share that link that I sent you. I want you to explain it to me.
I'm not screen sharing any links. We're not doing any bullshit that you want to do. It's not your show.
Why is you not doing? It's not my show, but you brought me on that.
All right. So
I think Phil, I think you thought this is going to be like some like battered wife. Like, yes, let's go. I don't care about I really don't give a shit. I don't care about.
Okay. So I guess we'll continue on. Let me go ahead and get rid of this.
Bro, he fucking kicks him. You kicked him because he was right. You kicked him because he was right, you moron. That's a detractor video in your Discord. Bro, he has a detractor video in his Discord, but he doesn't watch detractor content. Bro, you kicked him because he was right. You were hoping that Rich would see that you were now against Kino and he would join forces with you the way you joined forces with Kino Casino against him.
I tried, everyone. Really, I did. I tried to make it entertaining. That man is not entertaining in any way, shape, or form. I really wanted to give it an honest shake, but he's an idiot. Okay? Wow. I mean, he really did not want to play ball. He did not want to have any fun. That guy is a loser. That's sad, because I was trying. I mean, not that I want to be that guy's best friend or anything, but I mean, holy shit, dude. Like, that was pathetically bad. Like, why can't you just shut up and just ride what we're doing here and go with the idea? But what else can I say?
But dude, this isn't even an original idea. It's literally just the idea that Kino Casino came up with. And it's what they did with it's so fucking stupid. He wouldn't just go with it. Yeah, because your idea was retarded. This is something you'd expect from a remedial class student. A stunted person, not a super book smart, a super street smart valedictorian, bro. Unbelievable.
I mean, that was awful.
Because you're an idiot. And you let Rich get one over on you.
So, let's continue on, everybody. All right? So, up next.
Cry. Cry hard, Snort Hogan. Cry hard, Cult of Hate. Keep crying, because I was right and you were wrong.
How the fuck do you give Rich a W, bro? How? Unfucking believable, dude. I still can't believe it. And Rich went on to continue to dunk on him on his own fucking stream, dude. On his own fucking stream. Just started relentlessly dunking on Phil, dude. For like 3+ hours of this stream, it was nothing but dunking on Phil. Okay, yeah, it was 3 hours and 47 minutes. He just dunked on Phil. This shit was ridiculous. But anyway, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you all. I will see you next time. Have a good night.